I'm Chloe Kelly from Manchester City and England. Make sure you tune in to Rootz TV. I look back at it and I appreciate everything the boys did for me and their friends as well, because I probably wouldn't have been where I am today. I remember I used to dangle off the crossbar, and if the ball hit me, I went flying back into the goal. I always got back up, and I had the ump when I lost. I remember we was doing 1v1s and I megged Jack, and he hated it because he was like, I've taught her everything she knows, but not everything I know. And that special moment for me, like, I really appreciate those moments, like seeing how proud I do make my family just pushes me and wants me to achieve more.
Club or country?
Oh, I can't do that to you.
Hello guys, ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching in attendance today. So they've got a very, very special guest, England international Manchester City superstar, Chloe Kelly. How are you doing, Chloe?
Hi, I'm great, thanks. Very excited to be on here and really excited.
Awesome stuff. I'm also joined by Abby and Kobe. I can't leave you two out as well. Sorry, I'll just get straight to the guest. Sorry, apologies for that. How you two doing?
How you doing? Yeah, good, thank you.
Sorry, but yeah, I'm good, thank you. Very well, thank you.
Good. Right, so got to make the most of this because it's not every day that we get to speak to an international, do we? So, right, Chloe, we want to take you back a little bit in time, just kind of start where it all started from, because you're a West London girl, right?
Yeah. West London girl.
Because I'm a West London boy as well. So again, we can leave these two out for a little bit because they're far out of the way. But I want to get back to West London. You grew up around here, around 5 brothers, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 7, so 5 older brothers and my sister, then me. So.
Wow. So what was that like, growing up with 5 brothers? I'm guessing there was a lot of football played in the house, right?
Yeah, definitely. Loads of football playing in the house and just always out wanting to play football. And if we weren't out playing football, we were watching it on the TV. And my sister's completely different to me. She don't have a clue about football, and she's older than me, so you'd think that the boys would get her into football a little bit more. But yeah, she's the complete opposite and don't play football at all and hasn't got a clue. But yeah, the boys, I was always out playing with the boys and their mates.
So what age group did you kind of start then?
I remember I was on a holiday with my family, and from when I could walk, I always had a ball at my feet. My mum says she can never get the ball off me. And we was on a holiday camp, and my brothers were playing football the whole week on this camp, and I was so eager to just go and play with them. And on the last day, they actually let me play in the camp, and I loved it. And my mum was like, right, now she can play with the boys. And I was always just out with my brothers and their mates in the cage where I lived, and I felt like estate football is just no rules really, as you probably know. It's just do what you want, and there's a foul's not a foul, like just bounce each other off the fence. So that's where I feel like I just got my aggression, and I was always playing with older boys. My brothers are quite a bit older than me, so it was never really a case of I was scared to put a challenge in. It was, if you're playing with them, you're good enough, and if you're good enough, you'll get bounced off the fence just like anyone else. So that was great for me, and I feel like I appreciate that even more now. Probably didn't at the time, because I'd never go back and cry to my mom because I just know I'm back allowed with them. But now looking back at it, I feel like I appreciate that a little bit more, showing that what I'm capable of in this league and holding my own, even though I'm probably not the biggest of players. I like the physical battle as well.
Did you give as good as you can get though? Yeah,
definitely. I feel like there was some arguments. Most of the times I'd be arguing with their mates because they probably didn't like that I had a bit about me, and I was probably a little bit cheeky as well. So the boys probably didn't like that the young girl was doing well. But I feel like now I look back at it and I appreciate everything the boys did for me and their friends as well, because it would have been easy for them to just let me play easy, and I probably wouldn't have been where I am today if that was the case.
Did any of your brothers go on to play for England or Man City or Arsenal? Or?
No, they don't. They're playing in the pub team now. So I go and watch them. They all play in the same team at the minute. Well, 4 of them do. So it's nice to go back and see them play. And yeah, it's sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, I couldn't play on some of these pitches that they're on. And most weeks their games cancelled for Waterloo pitch. But yeah, it's nice to see them still playing, but yeah, not as serious.
If you was my little sister, I'd be putting a wig on and getting you to play as a ringer.
To be fair, I remember they was in a goals league, and they were playing at goals, and I went and played in the little 5-a-side goals league, and it was my four of my brothers and me, and it was unbelievable. And then the week after, they said I wasn't allowed to go. I think the team that we played against complained or something. My brother was like, "What the, like, how's that work? Like, she's just a football. It don't matter what gender she is." But yeah, I wasn't allowed to go and play anymore. I had to go and watch. But yeah, I was a bit fuming, to be fair.
Who was your footballing idol when you were growing up?
My footballing idol was Kelly Smith. She was an unbelievable player, and I actually had the opportunity to play with her at Arsenal, which they always say you shouldn't meet your role models, but I'm very grateful that I did. And I actually, a year before I went to train with the first team, I brought Kelly Smith's autobiography, and I was reading that at the same time that I was training with her, but I never told them because I was probably a little bit too scared. But yeah, it was unbelievable to actually play with Kelly, and the likes of Rachel Yankee and Kelly Smith have really paved the way for us young girls now being able to do what we love as a full-time job. And I feel like that's what we want to do for young girls is to pave the way even more so.
So what I wanted to say is obviously your debut for Arsenal at 17. That must have been unbelievable. And obviously you scored as well. Was it against Watford?
Watford, yeah.
And then obviously your second game, you come on as a sub and you replaced Rachel Yankee. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
That must have been amazing for someone who's so young, and then you're sort of starting your career, and Rachel's sort of coming to the end of her Arsenal career. That must have been quite a moment for you. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like it was one that I was a bit starstruck, and I never asked as many questions as looking back I'd like to have. And Rachel Yankee used to pick me up from the train station some days and take me to training, and I really appreciate that as a young player. That I used to be at the Arsenal games selling raffle tickets and programs as a young player in the Centre of Excellence, and then going to make my debut at Boreham Wood. It was crazy, and to score a header. I've not scored a header since because I'm not very good in the air, but it was crazy to just be in that environment with top players, and it was a dream come true really to play with the likes of those players. And I was pretty starstruck, to be fair. I still am now a little bit.
It's almost like coming full circle, right? You said earlier that she was your idol, and now you're coming on for her. Like, it's funny how things come around very quickly, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in the moment, you probably don't appreciate it as much as looking back I do now, because you're just in the moment and your adrenaline's just going. And yeah, I definitely would like to have asked more questions than I did about the experience of those players, but to learn from those players every day in training was massive. And then it was a case of me then going on to, I want to showcase what I've learned from these players, and that's why I didn't really want to sit on the bench when I was at Arsenal for as long as I did. I wanted to go and show what I was capable of, and that did mean dropping down the league to go to Everton. But I had in my head that I knew that I was going to get back up.
Yeah.
Just want to go back a little bit, because I know we jumped to the Arsenal bit, but talk to us about, 1 minute you're playing with your brothers on holiday and, skilling them up and all the rest of it, and then next minute you're playing for Arsenal. Was there QPR in between? Like, what was the road to making it professional?
Yeah, I was at a school football tournament. It was the first proper game of football that I played in. Obviously, street football. It was just every day for me. But I actually went for a school football tournament, and I got scouted in my first game for QPR, and I was a QPR fan, still am, and used to go to all the games. So to be scouted for QPR, my family were buzzing. And then my first game that I played for them was at Loftus Road. So it was crazy times. And then from then I went on to Centre of Excellence, where I went to Middlesex. And a lot of people were saying that I should be going to Arsenal and Chelsea, but I didn't really want to do that because I thought the step was too high for me to go from QPR all the way to Arsenal and Chelsea. And I wanted to see what it was like at that level first before I did make the jump. And I didn't want to throw myself in at the deep end at that time. So I did go to Middlesex for a season. And after that, I trialled for Arsenal and Chelsea. But my family are QPR, so I was going to Arsenal all along with it. I was like, we're not going to Chelsea. So yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah, they was like, yeah, you're not wearing a Chelsea kit. So yeah, went to Arsenal, and that's when I think I was 12 at the time, 12 or 13, and then stayed there up until I was 18, where I went on loan, and then 19 I signed permanently for Everton. But yeah, the boys were adamant I wasn't going Chelsea at the time.
Just when you got there though, as a 12-year-old girl, what was going through your head? Do you remember that far back? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What was going through your head at that time?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, to be fair, because me and I think it was 4 of my friends from QPR had all gone to Middlesex, and then we all went to Arsenal at the same time. So we was all going on the journey together, and Anna Philby and Rihanna Dean are now at Tottenham and doing so well. So we all played for QPR. My first training session at QPR was with Rihanna Dean, and then we go to Middlesex together, and then we went to Arsenal together. So I was involved with players that I already knew, but they were in the age group below me at the time, and I went into the environment a little bit of the new girl. But yeah, I feel like I just embraced it, and I really enjoyed myself. And I travelled quite a way to get there, but it was all worth it.
And what would you speak about your time in the cage with your brothers and his friends and stuff? And what would you say was what game in the cage? Like, you know, when I was young, it was headers and volleys, 60 seconds, 1 touch, 4 goals. What game would you say most benefited you as a player?
I feel like the 5-a-side games or the 7-a-side games, anything that we played in there. And then we played a game called Crossfire. A lot of people have different rules where you can't go past the halfway line, you can't use your hands, and you only had 2 touch to score. And then some of my brother's mates were like, "Oh, let her have as many touches," and I was like, "No, I want to have the 2 touch." So yeah, you can go past your halfway line. And I remember I used to dangle off the crossbar, and if the ball hit me, I went flying back into the goal. I always got back up, and I had the ump when I lost, but I always, when I started to beat the boys at that, I knew that I was like, right, I can go somewhere with this now. But yeah, I feel like that helped my shooting a lot, because obviously it was the 5-a-side pitches and you couldn't go past the halfway line. Like I couldn't go and just take it up to them and score. And when you had 2 touch, it was all about setting yourself for that shot. And if you saved it with your legs, that next touch was a shot. And I feel like that definitely helped my shooting. And I'd like to play that now and see if I can still beat them. They'll probably still knock me back into the goal.
We used to call that long ball, but I'm old, so.
Yeah, I think up here they call it shooties or something in Liverpool.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Crossfire we used to call it. But yeah, it's still there, the cage now. So when I go back home, there's still always loads of kids playing in the cage now. But it was great to
best times ever. Some of the best times ever as a footballer are in the cage. It's from 8 a.m. till sort of like 10 p.m. or when your mum or dad called you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you think you kind of apply that in your game now as well, like at City? Do you think like you've gone from 12-year-old Chloe and you're like up to 23-year-old Chloe and you're still playing like that at all, do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I just enjoy myself just as much as I was in the cages, and I don't really set myself too much pressure because I'm just that young girl with a big dream, and I still am. I wanna go to big levels with my game, but I'd never put myself under so much pressure to do that. I just enjoy myself, and that's when I am at my best. And when I do have a bad game, I beat myself up for it because I know I wanna be better and I wanna push my game to whole nother levels. But I am just that young girl with a big dream, and my family still don't let me get too caught ahead of myself, and they'll always tell me if I do have a bad game or if I do need to be better, and that's just like I was in the cages.
So you talk about your big dream. So you grew up in West London, you signed for QPR, you played at Loftus Road, you then signed for Arsenal and Everton, Man City. You've represented England at pretty much every level. What else? Where do you go from here? What's the next dream?
Yeah, I want to be successful in the Champions League. I want a Champions League medal. My first few months at City, I got my FA Cup medal, but I want more. I want to represent England and really stamp my mark in the first team, because I haven't done that yet. The She Believes was my first run of 3 great games that I actually was playing in, but I really want to mark my territory in that squad and show what I'm capable of on the big stage. I know I've only been at Man City a few months, but I feel like I can take my game to high levels, and I want to win the WSL and individual honours as well. But I feel like I'm at the start of my journey, and I'll keep working hard until I get there. But yeah, I'm never going to be perfect, but I'm going to work hard to try and make that.
And you've already been named in the PFA WSL Team of the Year as well. Is that right?
Yeah, last season when I was at Everton, Team of the Year. But
I think you just need to relax.
You don't have anything to achieve in a minute.
Yeah, to be fair, like I don't want to get too caught ahead of myself. I think it was great to win that, to be in the Team of the Year last season, but I want to be better. I always push myself to be better, and even when I have a good game, I'm looking at where I can be better and push myself to be even better than I am every day. But yeah, just doing extra sessions, and I feel like if you're working, if you're not working, someone else always is, and they can always take that step from you. And I don't want to do that, so I'm always working hard to be the best version of myself.
So I've got I know a lot of people in the women's game, obviously, and the men's game, and some of them obviously are not playing at an elite level, so at the moment they can't get involved with their clubs and stuff. So what sort of advice would you give them to keep improving and keep staying involved so they're ready to hit the ground running when they do come back?
Yeah, definitely. I think just working hard, even if you can get out doing your running sessions. In the first lockdown, we wasn't able to be with the squad, and we had a program from our clubs that we were doing pitch sessions, gym sessions, and really keeping up with our fitness, so that when we did go back, we was at a level that we just focused on our football, and it weren't a case of, right, we need to get fit, and then our football was right, we're in a good shape physically. Now we can add the football in. And I feel like just staying in contact with your team as well, because I feel like when you do go back, it don't feel as new to it. Everything's as new, but yeah, the physical side of it, just getting out and doing your running sessions. And for me, it was a case, some people were like, why are you doing all your running sessions? We're in lockdown. It was like, well, I want to be at a level where when I go into my new environment, because I didn't have a team at the time, I was leaving Everton and going to Man City. It was, I want to be at a level where I can compete with the best day in, day out. But I just wanted to be in the best shape physically that I could be, to then push on with my football when I did go back, because obviously I couldn't train with my team in that lockdown to work on areas on the pitch, but I could do whatever I can physically to be in the best shape for when I did go back. And I might have been a little bit rusty on the ball, but I was physically in a position where I could compete.
Did you ever take a ball out with you when you go on your runs? Did you ever take a ball out and do a little bit with a ball?
Yeah, me and my boyfriend used to go over the field and do sessions with the ball, and I feel like having someone that would really push you as well, and just, I used to do even passing sessions where I just got my touch, and the pitches were all bobbly, and it really tested me as my dribbling. And I feel like when you do go back into your club, you've got that extra bit ahead of people if you are doing the work when you are in lockdown, not waiting to go back and then being behind. So yeah, definitely get the ball out. And there was plenty of road runs, but I was on the pitch for a lot of the time as well.
Oh, thank you. Good advice. Thanks.
just going back to your club life or international life as well, is there anyone that you currently look up to and get tips off, you know, on your game to how to improve your game?
I've been working closely with Ellen White as a number 9. Because I'm a winger, I like to know what she wants from me, and if I can help her in any way to get more goals, like what can I do to help her? So in and out possession, like just having those conversations, and off the pitch as well, building relationships with players and finding what they do need from you. The likes of playing with Lucy behind me for Man City is unbelievable, and the FIFA Best Player of the Year. So I can learn massively from Lucy, and asking just what she needs from me in a game and how can I be better to help her game. And I feel like that's massive, building those relationships to say, what do you need from me for you to improve, and being able to say, can you do this to help me as well? And that's why I feel like I'm building up relationships with Lucy and with Ellen, and assisting Ellen quite a bit, to be fair. And even in training, we've been working on that, and then it does show on the pitch when we are in games that we are working hard together, not only in a game but on the training pitch, doing extras, working on my crossing to her finishes, and just being able to build them relationships to make each other better, not only individuals.
Love that.
Who was your first coach growing up? Was it your father? Was it your brothers? Or do you have an actual coach? Because I often wonder, like, who do you kind of pick inspiration off first? Like, who did you kind of first grasp how to trap a ball? Who did you first learn to, you know, do the basics from? Who's your first coach that you looked up to?
Yeah, my dad and brothers. One of my brothers in particular, he always says that, he even says it now, I've taught you everything you know, but not everything I know. And I'm like, oh yeah, go on. But yeah, he was the one that really taught me like my skills and everything. My brother Jack, he was at college playing football at the time, so he was a great player, and he still is. But yeah, he taught me like the basics of football, but then the aggression probably came from the other brothers. And in lockdown 1, I was playing with them, and I remember we was doing 1v1s, and I megged Jack, and he hated it because he was like, I've taught her everything she knows, but not everything I know. And I megged him, but it was in front of a few of his mates, and he was like, oh, he was fuming. But then we were recording them, and one of my other brothers then megged me, and yeah, I still get that video sent to me most weeks of him megging me, and I'm just like, oh, for God's sake. But I feel like we have that banter between us, that it is to push me to be better, but to keep me grounded as well.
And do you have that sort of banter within the club settings as well, like megging each other and all the rest of it?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Steph, we have a little running joke going, and yeah, she megged me the other day in the rondos, and she's not stopped speaking about it, to be fair. But we do have a lot of rondos in training, so I do enjoy megs, and the girls will probably say I look for the meg sometimes, and Steph's one of the culprits. Yeah.
Do you know what? I 100% relate to that. Like in my club as well. Like, I love that it goes from like top elite all the way, like trickles down to grassroots as well, because that is like a massive thing in my team as well. Like if you get done, like you don't hear the end of it. It's hilarious. Like even in a game as well, if it happens, everyone's like, oh yeah. So I just love that that's like across the whole, like kind of from top to bottom. I think that's amazing. It's so funny.
Yeah, just the whole buzz of her meg. Like everyone just goes mad, don't they? And our training sessions are all filmed, so if you do get megged in training, Steph will probably send me a clip of it and be like, oh, here you go. But yeah, vice versa as well.
Who do you feel like your biggest supporter on the pitches, and even off the pitch, in fact, actually?
In the club, would you say that?
Yeah.
I'd say Janine Becky. She's always supporting all the girls, and she's after every game she'll text me and just let me know if I have had a good game. She'll remind me and just say, I thought you were unbelievable today. But also, if I am struggling, she'll put her arm around me and support me as well. So that is great to have with a player that is very competitive with me. It's a player that plays in my position as well. And before games, she's very supportive, and a great friend of mine going into that setup at Manchester City. Janine Becky's has been brilliant for me. But also Steph, as the captain as well, she does really support me, and we've got a great relationship, and so long may it continue.
How do you prepare for a game? Have you got a set routine, or do you just take each game as it comes?
Yeah, I have, mainly when we have home games, I have the same match day -1 meal, pasta and chicken, and before a game I'm just chilled really. I don't get too nervous, and I don't really like focus too much on the game. I just listen to my music and speak to my family, people who support me and can really bring me back to reality, and just talk about other stuff other than just the game.
And what about when you arrive at the game? Are you game? Is it game head straight on, or do you still relax until the gaffer starts their team talk?
Yeah, my game head's on, but I'm listening to the music. I'm just chilling to the music and just getting my hair ready. Sometimes when my pre-wrap's not going well, I make my own like headbands and for the game. And sometimes when it's not going well, I'm like, oh, like I get the answer of it, and I have to keep doing it until it is right. And that's when I'm like, right, I'm ready now. Once my hair's done, I'm ready.
Yeah, I have that problem as well. I have to wear this hat all the time.
Is it ever daunting being on TV? Like maybe the first time you came on TV, was that a bit daunting, or is it kind of used to playing in front of crowds and all that sort of stuff? Because obviously, you know, I don't know about you, Kobe, but I've only played in front of a couple people. Don't know about you, Abby, as well.
I played at Wembley. It was
all right.
It was indoor though. It was indoor. It was a five-a-side final, but there was probably about 15,000 there, and it was mental. So I can't imagine what it must be like in front of 40,000-50,000.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really played in front of like huge crowds yet. As in like, because it's been lockdown. When we did get the Community Shield at Wembley and the FA Cup final, we weren't even able to have fans there, and my family actually haven't been able to watch me play for City yet, only on the TV. So I'm really looking forward to when they can come and watch me, and that'll be a special moment for me, just having them there and really living that moment with them. But yeah, I don't really think about how many people are watching on the TV. I feel like I'm just enjoying myself, as I say it. I probably am just as nervous when I was going to play in the cage as I am now. I just going to do what I love and enjoy myself doing it. So yeah, I don't really focus on who's watching and who I'm playing against. I'm just me, and I just go and do what I love doing. So, but yeah, sometimes when I watch games back and say like we're watching the women's football show, or we've got it on the TV at night, it's if I'm at home with my family, like my little nephew's like looking at the TV and like pointing at me, pointing at the TV. Don't really get it, but that's a special moment for me. Like I really appreciate those moments, like seeing how proud I do make my family just pushes me and wants me to achieve more.
Yeah, there is a buzz when you're playing in front of a crowd, no matter how big or small, and you've got a family member or a loved one in the crowd who's actually there live, and then you pull off like a worldie or something, and you just give them that little look, and that's unreal, that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just appreciating the moments that you have with them. Like I just wish I could play in front of them now and just show what I'm capable of, and being able to just go to the City campus and show them like the stadium and stuff. Like it'd mean the world to me. But I remember like my dad comes to all my games, and my first game for England, I wasn't in the squad. I was just a training player. So we were going to Austria, and a couple of days before they was like, have you got your passport? And I was like, yeah. So they said, right, you're coming to Austria. But I didn't know, like, I didn't think I'd be in the squad for the game. I just thought, right, I'm still a training player, but I'll just fly with them. And the day before the game, I found out I was in the squad, and my dad was like, I should have came. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, don't worry, I won't play anywhere. I won't even be in the squad. And then the day of the game, I found out I was on the bench. And then I came on, and I was like, oh my God, my dad's missed it. He's been to every one of my international games, and he's missed the big one. And when I came on, I probably was thinking about my dad's not here rather than being in the moment and enjoying it, because I was absolutely gutted that he wasn't able to be there. But he got to the She Believes at my last game for England, so they did watch all of them, and yeah, I appreciate the support that I have from my family.
And the way your career's going, I'm sure you'll be at the Champions League final to watch you play one day.
Yeah, fingers crossed they're at Sweden this year in the Champions League final.
Can we talk a little bit kind of Super 5 League? Because obviously we are grassroots kind of, I don't know what the aficionado, shall we say? I don't know. So obviously, like, you've recently been announced as an ambassador for Super 5 League. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what made you want to get involved with it, basically?
Yeah, I feel like it's just huge for me to support where I come from, really. West London, the Super 5 League, that's what I'm about, and that is my roots, because I am a young girl from London, and I believe that these young girls and the adults can achieve big things of just playing, doing what they love in London, and being able to have the opportunity to do that is massive. So I'll massively support that, and to be part of this big thing is huge for me, and just really, it is my roots, and I will support it. And it is huge for the women's game to have the adults league, but also the children's league as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, like, so for me personally, I didn't start playing football until like 2 years ago. Because kind of growing up, I didn't really like, girls football wasn't really kind of like promoted for me, because I'm not that much older than you. I'm only 5 years older than you. So, but girls football wasn't really promoted for me in my kind of area. So I didn't really know that girls could play football, which kind of sounds weird to say now, really, because it's just like everywhere. But it does kind of feel a little bit like, kind of still some girls do kind of feel like that kind of barrier to football. So kind of Super 5 is all about kind of accessibility and kind of inclusivity. So how do you think they can kind of encourage that? And like you say, they've like recently introduced that girls league, haven't they? So how do you think like you can help promote that and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to, when I can, get there and support the girls and show my face, and have a chat with them about their experiences, and share mine as well, because it'll be great to hear some of their stories. And I feel like just being able to have that opportunity to play in a girls league, and as I said before, like when I went to that goals 5-a-side with my brothers, and I couldn't play because I was a girl the next week, it don't sit right with me. I don't understand the differences. So now these girls are able to do what they enjoy, and being able to stay active, and being able to just enjoy themselves with their friends. And it's great to see that the women's game has grown so much, that there is this opportunity for girls only to go into that environment and enjoy it, and not be, well, you're a girl, you can't do that. It's no, we are girls and we can.
Do you think there'll ever be a mixed gender professional league, or would you like there to be, or do you think that that's going to make the it'll give less opportunities? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like it would probably give less opportunities, because the physical side to it, I feel like we're never going to have the physical as a man, and that's just normal. But the technical qualities are definitely there, up there with the men. And when people talk about the women's game not being as good as the men's, it's not right. Like, I don't understand it, because really we're only less physical than them, and that's just the way we're made. We can't do anything about it. But the hard work, the passion, the technical ability, everything's still there. It's just the physical side to it. And we are very physical, and of course we're not going to be as physical as a male, but we are very physical, and the load that we do put our bodies through is a lot. And with the technical side to it, I feel like you just see the growth of the technical side of the game from like 5 years ago, from 2 years ago. If you watch the league then and now, the technical side of the game is grown massively, and it has blown me away, really, to see the incredible players in our league.
Yeah, it's come on so much over the last few years. Some real rise, and it's going to keep rising, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like since the 2012 London Olympics, that's when the game started to catch the eye of people and really grow to different levels. And the players that have paved the way for us to be able to do what we love is great, and we really appreciate that. And I feel like if we can do that for the next generation is huge, and just pave the way to make it even better and the growth of the game just as big as the men's.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just going back to the Super 5 League, I was just thinking it's awesome that obviously you're getting involved in that, and I think the fact that it's got women and girls have got somewhere to play, not only competitively but recreationally as well, because I often find you need a bit of a balance between the two. Not everyone wants to be in a league or in a team. Some people just want to turn up and play. What sort of advice would you give to these young girls wanting to get involved in football at such a young age?
Yeah, I feel like it's just an opportunity to spend time with your mates, and in an environment where you can learn. You can be in an environment where you might not want to take it up as a career, but you're going there to stay active, and you're going there to socialize. And in times like this, I think that's massive to be able to go and do something that's keeping you active, but also socializing with your friends as well, and just really going into an environment where you're accepted for who you are. And I feel like that's massive, and it don't matter who you are, what you look like, you're a player, and you enjoy football, and that's a massive thing for the Fives League. And yeah, you don't have to go there with the competitiveness, but you can go there to keep active and just enjoy yourself. And I feel like that's what it's all about, just the enjoyment.
I want to ask you a couple of quick fire questions. I know, Abby, you've got a couple as well. Kobe, you can definitely chip in with a few as well. Don't worry, we won't catch you too off guard. So it's just a couple of quick fire questions. So best kit that you've played in so far?
Oh,
Arsenal.
I like our City away kit this year. Do you know the white one with the patterns? That's really nice.
That's it.
And the England away kit, the red one. That the women's one is unbelievable.
Best coach that you've played under so far?
Gareth Taylor at Man City. He's coached the likes of Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho. Like, to see where he's had a difference in their career, like, is massive. So to work with a manager like that, I feel like it gives me confidence, and I'm a young player with. I want to take my game to a whole nother level. So yeah, Gaz is a great manager.
Favorite pair of football boots, currently and ever?
I've got the new Nike Mercurials. Yeah, they're unbelievable. Very nice, comfy boot. I used to love the T90s. The red and black ones I had.
Nice. Yeah. Solid choice that. This one's a little bit deeper. One piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't, because if you believe in yourself, then it don't matter about what anyone else thinks. Nice, love that. And I'd also say, to be fair, just be yourself. Don't try to be someone that you're not, because you've got to keep that up then. Whereas if you're yourself, then you're just you every day. Whereas if you try and be someone you're not, you've always got to keep it up.
Love that.
Club or country?
Oh, I can't do that to
What was your teammate?
Veto that one.
I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah.
It's funny you should mention about your favourite coach. I've seen a lot on social media lately, discussions around male coaches stroke managers in the women's game and women coaches stroke managers in the men's game. How do you feel about that? Do you think there should be? Do you take advice any differently from a male coach as you would to a female coach?
No, I don't, to be fair. I just see them as my coach and an opportunity to learn from an experienced person that knows what they're talking about. And, like, it don't matter what gender you are, like, you're telling me what to do, I'm going to take that. Like, it's just the respect element as well. Like, I have respect for whoever I work with. And, yeah, it's their profession, so they know what they're talking about. And no matter if it's a man or woman, it's an opportunity to learn. I just see it as.
Yeah, and we spoke about your pre-match routine. What's your post-match routine?
Straight after the game, we've got our protein shakes. So just refuel, stay hydrated, and get a meal in as soon as I can, just to recover and re-energize my batteries, recharge them, and just get going for the next one. So yeah, I feel like my meal after my game is just as important as the one before it.
And the last one for me is I've got quite a few followers on social media in women's football. Where can they get a Chloe Kelly headband from?
Oh, it's just pre-wrapped. You know that? One time I took it from the physio bag and I made it myself. It's literally under wrap that you make it for. Before you. Yeah, it's just that. Literally, I make it out of that, put it around my head, and then tie it at the back. It's not
innovation.
It's very grassroots of you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So resourceful. I'm going to ask two questions. The second one's more positive. So, what's been the most challenging part of your career so far?
I think leaving Arsenal to go to Everton. I was 18 at the time, and it was dropping down a league to WSL 2, going away from home, moving away from my family, where I'm a proper home girl, and I miss my family still now. So that challenge of moving away and not being able to do anything for myself when I first came there to now being able to do everything for myself and just being able to really grow up in a short space of time. That was probably the most challenging thing, being away from my family, and injuries, and not knowing when you'll be back from that injury, doubting yourself when you do come back from it, and thinking, am I as good as I was before? I used to, being towards the end of my rehab for my ankle, I used to think, my passing's off, I feel rusty, is it going to come back? And just the self-doubt around that, and trying to keep with it mentally, to know I've been out for a while, I'm not going to go back to where I was beforehand. I need to give it time, and I need to be patient with it. But I see my injury as an opportunity to get better in the gym, and not as a downfall for me.
Nice. And then equally, like, we've talked about all the amazing stuff that you've kind of done so far. Which has been your career highlight so far?
Making my England debut. It was a dream come true. You always dream as a young girl to put that England badge on, and when you wear that crest on your chest, it's a huge moment, and real proud moment for me and my family. And that, for me, not even how I felt, but how it made my family feel, makes me even prouder of that moment, because I know the hard work that they put in to get me to train in, and to miss things, to take me places, and just really the effort that it took for them to get me there, rather than what I had to do to get there.
Just the last couple from me, Chloe. Just going through this lockdown, obviously it's difficult for all, but just give some bits of advice to any young listeners listening in, obviously, mentally and physically, what they can do by themselves. Obviously, we're supposed to self-isolate. If you live with your partner, so be it. But what sort of things can people do mentally and physically to just keep improving and keep things ticking over until we're allowed out of lockdown?
Yeah, I think staying positive and looking at the benefits from it, where you can use this time to get fitter. You might not be the fittest in the team, but you can use this time to get fitter and really go out there and work hard. And if it's your runs or that self-motivation to just get out there, I'm doing it for myself, not for anyone else. I'm doing it for myself. And being able to watch games, just watching the Premier League, that's an opportunity to learn, seeing players and learning from them players and taking notes about them games. It's not going to harm you. And I feel like the mental state, just going and talking to people that make you feel good, talking to people that really bring you back to who you are, and not getting too caught of this is a pandemic, and looking at the negatives, look at the positives, and look at what we can achieve in this moment. Look, you can get fitter, you can get stronger, you can achieve great things even if it's in a lockdown. And I speak to my family so much because they make me feel good, and that's what people need to do. Talk to people, and just really know who's behind them, and really get a circle of people that you trust and that that make you feel good.